Good evening, everyone. Welcome to COS Indiana Live. My name's Dale Parrish. I'm the State Director for Convention of States here in Indiana and want to welcome you to our broadcast this evening. Got a good lineup for you this evening. I'm anxious to get going on it, but let me bring on my co-host, Mr. Ken Kashuba. Hello, Ken.
Hello, Dale. How are you?
Flash your name up there so everybody can see who you are.
There you go.
Yeah, good to see you, Ken. I think we got a good show for everyone tonight. And Ken will be accompanying us tonight. And one of Ken's main responsibilities on the broadcast is to monitor our comments and questions that viewers may have. So if you are viewing our broadcast this evening, either on our Facebook page, Convention of States Indiana, or our YouTube page, Indiana Patriots for Convention of States, feel free, if you want to make a comment or ask a question, to enter that through the chat section. And Ken will be monitoring these and will give us the high sign if he's got one that looks interesting. So Ken, hopefully we'll get some good comments tonight, huh?
Yeah, we always look for that. Look forward to our viewers and what they got to say.
Yeah.
Kind of what we're all about, isn't it?
That's what we're all about. That's for sure. Well, Ken, according to my numbers, this is broadcast number 179, and you've been with me now for 47 of these broadcasts. Boy, your number just gets higher and higher. I tell you, it's hard to understand, hard to believe that we're pushing 200 here. Not too long.
Yeah, time flies when you're having fun.
We'll hit 200 this year, won't we?
Yes, we will
if we continue on. Yep.
God willing.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, we've this broadcast has evolved. It really has, from the days when we started this back in I guess it was actually, I think the first one was very late in 2018. I think it was.
I have to check the year, but yeah, I'd have to check the year, but I think that's probably close. I don't know. We might have to pull a few segments from those old ones just to show people that us old people can learn from repetition.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that.
You don't want to go.
We'll see. We'll see. All right. Well, let's get a few announcements out of the way here. I just want to make everyone aware of two things here. Our national website, conventionofstates.com. If you're not a supporter of Convention of States, that's your first step, is to go to our national website, conventionofstates.com, enter your information, and then you will become a supporter of Convention of States nationally as well as here in Indiana. Now, The other thing that you're seeing crawling across the screen here is our next roundtable, which is coming up next week, January 23rd. Now, the broadcast that you're viewing right now, we do every Monday night at 7 p.m. But every fourth Monday of the month, we devote the format of the broadcast to a roundtable discussion. So that one then, and I'm going to be talking, and we'll be talking about that a little bit more, a little later on in the broadcast, but that's coming up next week, January 23rd, roundtable. So you be sure you want to catch that. I think this one's going to be a good one too, Ken. I'm withholding the topic here until a little later on. Okay.
Yeah, you want to throw a teaser out there so people hang on to find out about that.
That's right. I think we got an interesting topic here.
Something else has come up in the chat room that I wasn't aware of, and had I known, this program might have taken a different turn.
Oh.
I didn't realize that it's a happy birthday to Dale P.
Oh, Dale T.
You never divulged this momentous time in your life. Is today the actual day?
Yes, today is my birthday.
Oh, my word. Oh,
yes,
now see, had I known, I would have had Marengo all set up for you.
I figured, I figured you'd probably.
Yeah, you kept it hush hush because you didn't want anything additional going on in this program. I got you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Dale. Dale tipped in for divulging that, and a happy birthday, Dale.
Thank you.
I'm not going to ask you how old you are, but we won't make you go that far. But
that's a good move. That's a good move.
Good move. Yeah.
Good for you. All right.
Susan Lyon says happy birthday too. So you got a couple of people Susan. Out there, a couple of fans. Yeah.
I've had a very good birthday. Today is one of my workout days. I go to a local gym here, and 3 days a week. So I went there this morning, and as you can imagine, you over time you get a little following. You get a group there in the gym that you converse with. They're on the same schedule as you, and so you get to see them every time you're there. So they all knew it was my birthday, and they kind of gathered around me and sang happy birthday to me today. So
now, hopefully, you didn't have cake there.
No, I didn't. No,
that would kind of go against gym rules, I think.
No. It's well, we won't dwell on this very long, but I've lost a lot of weight. Okay, and
you've done very well, Dale. You've done very well.
Yeah. And it's taken me 4 years to do that, but still to this day, when it's a celebratory type event, be it a holiday or whatever, it's everybody. Dale, what would be your favorite dessert that we could fix for you? What treat could we give you? And so that is still there. It's still there.
There you go. And, it doesn't totally disappear, but it says a lot for your resistance and patience in that. And there are lots of happy birthdays in the chat room, so you'll have to check that out after the program.
Are there? Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, now I've completely lost my place.
I've got you totally off cue, and that's fine. Yep.
All right. Let's try this one. I want to make everyone aware of something new that we've created here recently, and that's podcasts. So we do 2 podcasts, and they're available on Spotify.com. That's Spotify.com. And I understand, Ken, they're actually available on some other platforms too.
Yeah.
But
Spotify is obviously the owner of Anchor. So if you have an Anchor app already, then you could find it on Anchor, where that's the program we actually created on. But you can also find it on Google Podcasts right now, and eventually I think you should be able to find it on Apple. But
okay,
I haven't looked for it there lately, but it should start showing up.
Well, we do 2 podcasts. We take the audio portion of the roundtable broadcast, the one coming up January 23rd, and we offer that up as a podcast. So it's just the audio portion of that broadcast. The other podcast that we do, we call COS Indiana Live Voices, and on this podcast, we take the opportunity to interview more in depth some really dynamic volunteers that we have here in the state of Indiana, and we always focus on Indiana. This broadcast that we're doing right now, the guests that we bring on are from Indiana. They're, for the most part, volunteers here in Indiana. And then our podcast, COS Indiana Live Voices, then the really dynamic ones, we spend some more time with them and delve more into who they are, what they're about. And I think you would agree, Ken, we've learned some very interesting things about some of the people we've interviewed so far. Wouldn't you agree?
I'd agree. It's always interesting to find out some of the behind the scenes things that makes people tick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I know these people very well, and they come to find out there's some things about them that I didn't know.
Yeah,
so
that's right. That's right.
It's been very interesting, and we're working on another one that hopefully maybe we can get done this week. I think we've got 4 of them out there right now, I believe, voices podcast. So anyway, folks, you want to check those out. I think you'll find them very, very interesting. Now, this is an announcement that I want to throw in. Coming up March 8th of this year, we're going to be conducting our Surge Day, what we call our Surge Day. And what that is that on that day, we basically invade the state capitol building, and we rally there right in the foyer. I think we were on the 2nd floor. I think it was last year.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. Do you know where we're going to be located this year?
I do not.
Okay.
If Marty was on, he might know. I haven't heard anything about where we'll be.
Okay, but
this year,
this is a day where we set up an information table. We talk to people about convention estates, and we try our best to talk to legislators, and hopefully. We not hopefully, but we try very hard to set up ahead of time, when our legislators could come by and visit our table, visit our booth, if you want to call it that. So
it's nice to get them to come by the booth, but it's also, Dale, I know my own personal experience was I was able to set up an actual appointment with my state senator, or my senator. Was able to
go to their office, right?
Back into the office, yeah, which was kind of a good experience for me. I was able to go back and sit down, and actually had a good 10-15 minute talk with him. So it was
excellent.
It was quite a good experience. So you, as well as getting into the booth, you can actually get in the office and get a little one-on-one, and I think that was very helpful.
Okay. Well, what the reason we're talking about this now is we want to get as many people there as possible, as many COS supporters there as possible. We'll have pins for everyone to wear. We'll have it'll be a very fun day. It'll be a very fun day. So I would encourage you, if you want to, just another way to get involved is plan on being with us at the state capitol building in Indianapolis on March 8th. Now, a little later on in the broadcast this evening, I'm going to play you a video that Ken did for us of our 2022 Surge Day. And I think you'll find that very, very interesting. Kind of give you a flair for what we try to do there on these days. So, okay, that'll be coming up. Now, let's talk, Ken. Let's tell people what we're going to be doing tonight. We've been sticking with this theme. We did it all last year, and we're going to continue it again this year. What activism can I take in Convention of States? And there's a host of different ways that you can express your activism through Convention of States. So one of the ways is leadership. And tonight we're going to be talking to one of our district captains, Gary Speelman. He's the district captain in House District 52. So here's an individual that has chosen his expressing his activism in a leadership role. Plus, he does some other things too, but mainly in a leadership role as a district captain. So you'll get to meet him and learn more about him this evening. So,
well, Dale. Speaking of activism, we actually have a comment in our chat tonight from one of our active members who is talking about another way to show activism, and that is from our own Susan Lyon. And she said she got someone to sign the petition a couple of days ago, and her challenge is that everyone get one person to sign the petition each month.
That's a good, cool.
So a little bit of self-governance and a little bit of activism all rolled into one. Thank you, Susan.
This young lady, Susan Lyon, is the editor of our state newsletter. And,
that's right.
She does a fine job for us on that. Is that January newsletter out now?
Actually, it's been in the queue for it to be approved by National since Sunday, Sunday night. I expect it to be out already. So, if I haven't checked today, it should have been out.
It ought to be. It'll be
today or tomorrow.
Yep. Good. Yep. Susan does a great job for us. Right, Ken. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what we call Raise Your Voice?
I can do that. We talk about Raise Your Voice every Monday night here. It's a little bit of a polling opportunity to get involved with our viewers. What I'll do is bring up the screen here for people to get their smartphones out, because what we basically do is we have an app that allows us to basically do a poll, and we always have some interesting questions. And I believe you should be seeing it right about now, slido.com. And number 1570270 is the number you need to put in if you're trying to get onto that by a desktop or a laptop or a tablet. But the QR code that right next to it, if you've got your smartphone, all you got to do is load that QR code up into your phone, and it'll take you right to the app, and you can participate in tonight's polling. So always a lot of fun, and we generally have some educational type material on there, some good questions, and the polling, basically we try and use that to help us come up with topics and things for future programming. So feel free to get on that QR code or that website and join in tonight. That'll be a little later on.
Yep. We've had very good responses to the polling segment of our broadcast. So
now, had I known, the quiz tonight could have been guess Dale's age. But too late now. I wish Dale T had let me know. We would have had that as the quiz.
You could have done that. Yes, I guess that's true.
And think of it this way, Dale. You wouldn't have missed it. Only kidding.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now I've lost my place. Okay.
Oh, and by the way, Susan says in the chat room he's 29. So you can go with that.
There you go.
Go with that. Yeah.
I'll never forget when I turned 30. I had a friend of mine ask me how old I was, and I said 30. And he said, now I can't trust you anymore. So that was
what happens when you come up through the 60s, right?
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, as I said, our theme this year has been and still is Convention of States and Activism. So without further ado, let me get to the other banners that I want to show here. And let's bring on, Ken, let's bring on our guest this evening, Gary Speelman. Hello, Gary.
Good evening.
Hi, Gary.
How you doing?
Good, good.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Ken, now you see the beard that Gary's got. Are you trying to achieve that? That's pretty.
I'm jealous of Gary's beard. Yeah, I'm gonna let mine grow out a little bit. See if I can come close to that one.
Well, my dad, his is down like here.
Yeah.
He's got
really?
a full blown beard all the way down here. So
wow.
So I got a long way to go.
My youngest son has one. Of course, it's not white like mine, but he's got one that comes down there too. Not right. Quite as long as your dad's, but.
Are you wanting to grow yours that long, Gary?
No, I won't. No,
okay.
It's too hard to maintain.
Yeah. I would think so.
You're always trying to make sure you don't leave anything after you eat in there. Constantly combing it out. So it's high maintenance. But
now have you got a mustache also? I can't tell. Oh yeah, okay. I tried a mustache one time, but could hardly see it.
And I've had a mustache since I was like a freshman in high school.
Really? Really? Wow. Okay. Well, that has nothing to do with what we're going to talk to you about tonight.
I was hoping not.
But anyway, I just thought I would ask. Well, Gary, you are one of our district captains, and your House district is number 52 right now. And it hasn't been 52 for some time. This is kind of the restructuring, right? The redesign that.
Correct.
But now you're House District 52. Okay. Now give us an idea. Give our viewers a kind of an idea geographically where your district's located in the state.
Well, it starts in the very northeast corner of Noble County, so it covers Kendallville and Avila, and it looks to be all of DeKalb County, and the very southeast corner of Steuben County, just 3 townships.
Okay, so DeKalb County, that would be the main one, I guess, would be Auburn. That would.
That's correct.
And Steuben, do you take in Angola then, or
no? It ends just south of Angola.
Just south of Angola. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So you got a section there, kind of in the northeast corner of the state.
Mm-hmm.
So okay.
So I switched from Sue Glick, who's still my state rep because I live in Kendallville, but with this new districting. Is now gone over to Ben Smaltz, who I've not been able to make contact with, but is on my objective to make contact with him.
Okay.
We had our regional breakfast this past Saturday, and we kind of passed out some nice little postcards. I'm going to write one out and send that.
Good.
One of the things that we found is calling or emailing, we don't get those, all get filtered out, but if you send them a letter, I'm being told you have a high probability they'll actually respond back.
Excellent. So, okay, well, we'll talk about your legislators here very, very soon. All right, good. Well, tell us then, we always ask our leaders that come on as guests to tell us their COS story, not their life story, but the story about how, when, where you got involved with Convention of States. So what's your story, Gary?
Well, I've been a district captain roughly 3 years. My church during Sunday school, we watch a lot of different videos, a lot of educational stuff. One of the things that we were watching was the American Heritage with Rick Green and Dave Barton. And going over the wall builders, going through the Constitution, extremely educational. opened my eyes, because that stuff we're not taught in school at all.
Right.
So learned a lot there. I even carry my constitutional book in my back pocket with me every day. So anybody wants to challenge me, I whip that thing out and said, oh, no. Right here it says right there. So and we're in our district, we're looking to also get the Indiana state constitution. So we have that. It's important to know that also, along with the United States Constitution. So while I was watching Rick Green when he was doing the Constitutional Live at the Liberty Center, or the in Philadelphia,
right,
when he was going through the whole Constitution, very educational. And during his talk, he talked about many different organizations, but one of the organizations that he spoke of was this Convention of States. He didn't dwell on it a lot, but he says, it's a great organization. Check it out. So I'm like, that sounds interesting. So of course, the next day I'm on my computer, I'm looking up Convention of States. Boom, there it is. I'm going through it. I'm like, this is great. This is what I'm looking for. So I signed a petition. At the time, I had a lot of free time, and unfortunately, I don't have that free time. Just went right away right after that. But at the time, I had free time. I thought, you know what, I'll try out. I'll give it a shot. We are commanded as God's people to be active, be engaged, to not be lazy. And I was looking for different ways. What can I do to contribute? And I felt this was a good way to contribute, because the Constitution is based off the Bible. Many people don't know that. A lot of people want to argue that, but it's been proven.
There's a lot. Yeah, the Bible had a great influence on
the Constitution,
writing of the Constitution. Yes.
So that's really what got me started in the COS. And I tried to attend anywhere from 2 to 4 gun shows a year. I meet a lot of good people, and I've met a lot of good people, and I've enjoyed talking to a lot of people. I've got a lot of people at church interested. They now follow COS. I talk to a lot of people at work. I talk to my family, and it's just surprising. Even my own family don't really understand or know the Constitution. And then I explain it to them. They're like, oh, okay. So so I'm just, I want to grow as a person. I believe in this cause. I love my country. I see what's happening to it. It makes me sick. And, what can I do to help? And this organization is really the only way, because you see all these emails and texts and stuff, the 28th Amendment, and it lists a lot of things, but there's no path to get there. We all talk about it, we all want it, but how do you get there? Well, this Convention of States is the way to get there, and we're 19 states into it.
Right.
So we're well on our way.
Yeah. Ken, I don't know, when I was a kid growing up, when I went to church, I took my Bible with me, but now maybe it would be better if you did take your Bible plus a copy of the Constitution with you.
Take them both along.
Take both of them to church with you.
Yep. And well, at this point, there is a question in our chat room tonight that I kind of will throw in right here, because it's something I think that obviously we talked about questions sometimes not being not part of the plan, but this question comes from a Richard Schweitzer in our viewership tonight. And I'll go ahead and bring this up. And I think it may fit into government overreach as far as what we're doing as Convention of States. But I thought I'd throw this question out. We can banter it around a little bit and maybe give some kind of an answer to Richard here. But do you think that COS should limit the amount of taxes that Congress can levy against the American people? So anybody have any thoughts on that? As I said, I think it fits more into, maybe I could put it into the federal overreach portion of what Convention of States is all about. And maybe it's something that wouldn't actually go hand in hand the first time around, but we have a second convention. It might be something we'd have to attack.
I think you really, I remember someone telling me we need to reverse the 17th Amendment. the states need to start sending their senators to DC. That way they're held accountable to the states. And if they don't do their job, the states are going to pull them back. And, once we get to our 34 states and we get our 3 resolutions passed, maybe that's the next step.
There you go.
Well, I think this could be part of one of the pillars of our resolution, and that's fiscal responsibility, addressing the debt. I mean, certainly, of course, implementing a balanced budget is a concept that's thrown out a lot. But I think also, controlling spending and controlling revenue, and I think this could very well be part of that first. There you go. Limits on spending may be able to solve that issue. Yep. So I think that taxes and so forth could very well be part of that first pillar with regard to fiscal responsibility. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
That helps.
All right, Gary. Well, you started talking about one of your legislators. Let's resume that conversation. Ben Smaltz is your representative, right?
Yep. And Jim Banks is my senator.
Okay. Now, Jim Banks is your federal, right?
Oh, maybe he is. I thought I guess maybe I need to be educated more. I thought he's my senator because I get his distribution. He sends out all his emails to me when he sends up his. I vote for him, so I figured he was my local senator.
Okay, I think I don't know who you're all right offhand. I can't think of who is it Carbaugh? Is that his? No, I don't think that's it.
No.
Or is it Tyler Johnson? I think that might be your new senator. Gary Harbaugh, I know you're on the broadcast tonight. Who is the state senator for Gary? And his House district is 52. Can maybe Gary can find that out for us real quick.
All right. I know in every election, Jim Banks is on the.
Well,
on the
Jim
ballots.
Banks, I believe, is one of our federal representatives. So we're talking about state level here. Now, let's go back to Ben Smaltz is your state representative, and Ben has been a supporter of Convention of States for some time.
Right. As I stated earlier, my previous district, it was Sioux Glick.
Right.
And now it's switched over to Ben. So I obviously need to get a hold of Ben and introduce myself. Yep,
you do. I think you'll find him very supportive. He attended our simulation some years ago. So I think you'll find him very, very supportive. Okay.
We also talked about one of the gentlemen that's running threw his hat in for governor, actually lives in the Auburn area. So I plan on trying to get a hold of him and introduce myself to him also.
Okay. All right. Well, tell me then. Let's talk about some objectives that you have for 2023 for your district. What are some of the things you want to try to accomplish?
Well, obviously, first of all, getting a hold of Ben Smaltz. Definitely want to, continue working as a district captain, continue to educate myself, reach out to more and more people, attend more gun shows. We've talked about, I ride motorcycles, so I'm a vice president of my Legion Rider group, the American Legion in Kendallville, Post 86. And so we're looking at, how can we reach out to the biker group? Because I know the biker group would definitely support Convention of States. So, definitely wanting to look into that. trying to continue to educate myself on the Constitution, make sure I get good, meaningful results, try to cultivate myself as a good leader, and then continue to use my Christian faith as my base, and working with people to be kind and try to educate people. And you'd be surprised how many people just don't understand. Either one, never heard of Convention of States, and before I came involved with Convention of States, I never heard of the Fifth Amendment. I didn't know anything about it. So, obviously getting people more and more educated on that and giving the information they need to go find out the information so they can educate themselves.
Good deal. All right. Well, you mentioned I always like to kind of wrap up our interviews on the note of self-governance. And I think you mentioned already one of the things you're involved in, and that's the motorcycle. What did you call them? What did you call the group?
It's the American Legion Riders.
American Legion Riders. Yes,
you'll see them. They're all over. There's several groups in Fort Wayne. They're in Auburn, Kendallville. I mean, they're all over Indiana and all over the United States. It's a veterans organization. I support veterans. My father was a Vietnam vet, so I definitely protect those that protect us and try to help them out best we can. And that is our goal as Legion Riders. And but kind of the same thing. We all love America. We love what America stands for, what our forefathers stood for, and what they fought for. And we're willing to do the same thing if we have to.
Now, am I correct that this group, Legion Riders, this is the group that attends veterans funerals?
Yeah, that's where it started. That's how I got involved in them. They, I'm going to say, what was it, 10 years ago? There was that group that was protesting. At the cemeteries for veterans during the funeral service. And I'm like, no way. That's unacceptable. Period. Unacceptable. So I had a couple friends that were part of the group, and I reached out to them and said, hey, what do I need to do to get involved? And I filled out the application, got accepted, and I've done several of those escorts. No protesters. That's kind of gone away. At least
that's kind of faded away, hasn't it? Thank goodness.
Yeah, thank God. And I like to thank the Legion Riders for that.
Yeah. I had some friends, some high school friends that lived in Texas, and they were involved in that down there. And I was always, plus when I was in the car show hobby, we'd go to car shows, and there would be some Legion Riders there at car shows. So I've always admired what they were doing.
Yeah, we are a very, very patriotic group. We believe in America, and we support our veterans and do what we can. We do a lot of fundraisers. Our post 86, we do a lot of pork burger sales. That's kind of our main fundraiser. We do 2 of those a year, so we always sell out every year, twice a year. So we definitely enjoy it. I was privileged about 7 years ago. My grandfather, well, he's actually my wife's grandfather, but I was so close to him, I consider him my grandfather, was a World War II vet, was in the Navy. He was actually in Tokyo the day that Japanese, or the day of or the day after the Japanese surrendered. I was fortunate enough to take him on the honor flight and be his.
Oh, really? Oh,
and great honor for me. It was a great privilege for me to be able to do that. And unfortunately, he was well into his 90s in a wheelchair. He totally depended on me, but I didn't care. I was willing to do whatever it took to make that a trip of a lifetime for him. And honestly, it was a trip of a lifetime for me. It was very emotional, very patriotic. Truly enjoyed it. So I anybody that has that opportunity, even if you don't have a family member, you can always sign up as a volunteer and help be an escort. It's a great cause.
Yeah, I've attended a couple flights, returning flights down at the airport. It's quite
that is awesome, isn't it?
It is. It is quite a
You
spectacle.
get off that plane, and these guys have no idea what's waiting for them, and there's just wall-to-wall people. It's amazing.
I'm always impressed at the number of young people that are there.
Definitely, his whole family was there. His wife, his daughter, his grandkids, great grandkids, and many friends were there. Plus all the other hundreds and hundreds of people that were there for everybody else, and just there supporting. It was just an amazing event. Absolutely amazing.
Really great. All right, Gary.
I was just going to mention James Romack also mentioned the Patriot Riders. That's another group.
Patriot Riders. Okay.
All right. Too. Just wanted to throw that in while we're here.
Okay.
Yeah. And Gary did come back on and said that he thought it was Sue Glick. So I think you were right, Gary. Who's ever replaced Sue there for you is your senator.
I knew Sue was my representative. She still is, just because I live in Kendallville.
Okay.
But maybe I misunderstood the question. I thought you were looking for the rep and the senator, and I knew Jim Banks was my senator.
Yeah, there you go. So thanks, Gary, for that.
All right, we'll leave it there. Okay. Gary, thank you very much, my man, for coming on tonight. Enjoyed having you.
Thank you for the invite.
Everybody if you live in the area, Kendallville, Auburn area, and you want to become involved in convention estates, Gary Speelman is your district captain. So reach out to him. All right.
Up for a cup of coffee. There you go.
Thanks, Gary.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night.
See you, Gary.
All right, Ken. Well, Ken, let's I want to play this video of take a little break here.
All right.
And before we get into Raise Your Voice, and I want to play this video of our Surge Day from 2022. You did the video, so you should recognize this. But I think it's very good, and I think it will give everyone a little idea of what we do at the Surge Day.
No, so. I think the footage and the music that was attached to it tells a lot about what kind of group we are. So
yeah. All right, here we go.
It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are, and like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers, stronger than ever. Never say never. Don't look back now. Don't look back now. Rise up, stand with each other. We are sisters and brothers, finding our place and running the race. We'll take our chance and seize the moment. our fate. Destiny awaits. We are all the actors in the stories we create. Hope will be our guide. We'll no longer hide. When we roll like thunder, feel the wonder from inside. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers, stronger than ever. Never say never. Don't look back now. Don't look back now. Rise up, stand with each other. We are sisters and brothers, finding our place and running the race. We'll take our chance and seize the moment. Hold on tight and don't let go of all your hopes and dreams that light the way.
You're muted, Dale. Come on, take that microphone back on.
Sorry about that.
That happens enough times. We all do that.
Yeah. But always enjoy watching that video. I think I hope you plan on doing it again this year, because I think it's
bigger and better. Bigger and better.
Bigger and better. There you go. Yeah. All right. Once again, folks, that's coming up March 8th. We're going to be talking about this the rest of this month and all the way through February. So keep this in mind. Surge Day, March 8th. So we want a great turnout. We want to make a big impression down there. So please plan on joining us on March 8th. Right, Ken. And now it's time for Raise Your Voice. You want to get Maringo Mike going here, and let's get with our polling here.
He's been waiting. Here he is.
A segment that features you. Scan the code and join the fun. It's your turn to be heard.
All right, it is time for the Slido polling of the night. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here and bring up the poll. And as I said, if you've got your smartphone ready, you can grab that QR code and we'll get her started tonight. And the number 1570270 is what you're using in case you're on your laptop or your tablet or desktop, wherever it may be. You can go ahead and plug that in and you'll be all ready to go. So I'll give you another second or so to get those who maybe missed it the first time around, get that QR code, get your smartphone up and ready, and we'll get started with the questions. So number one tonight is going to be, what issues in Indiana concern you most? So this is I believe you're able to pick more than one on this. So what issues in Indiana concern you most? It is plural issues. So you can pick more than one, but is it the tax rate? Is it property taxes? Is it inflation? How about education quality? And another big one is the election integrity. Medical freedoms, and that was a little misspelled there. Term limits. That's another one that's on there, but yeah, definitely got the C and the A and the L in there. Did not get placed in the medical freedoms, but mandates, vaccines, those type of things. So right now we're jumping around a little bit. We can see we've got education quality, which that seems to be a big one, Dale.
Yeah, it does. It does. It seems to be holding on there.
Yeah, medical concerns. Obviously, I think people are a little concerned that we might get a second round of mandates coming at us based on what we're hearing as far as some of these new strains coming out. But I think we've talked a little bit about that in a few previous segments. But right now it looks like education quality leads the group 86% as far as our viewers are concerned.
Good, very interesting.
So,
and this folks, this information's helpful to us. Part of what we do is we support pending legislation in the Indiana legislature. So expressing your concerns to us like this helps guide us into the type of legislation and the type of bills that we want to choose to support. So it's very helpful. Very helpful.
All right, we'll go on to question number 2. And this is fun. I kind of found it funny that that Gary mentioned this early on, as far as a way to communicate with your legislators. So it kind of fit right in tonight with tonight's question. You had asked earlier what type of questions we had, and it kind of fit in. But what do you feel is the most effective way to communicate with your legislators? Is it by email, by phone call? Handwritten letter is jumping right up there, along with let's see, phone calls, town hall, or appointment at the Capitol. That guy got kind of cut off. It was a little long there, but that last one is appointment at the Capitol. So,
boy, this pie chart's very, very unique.
I thought I'd try the pie chart for a change this time. And I like the pie chart. It looks like the handwritten letter is obviously people are recognizing that. Town hall has popped in there a little bit. Phone call. I mean, and as you mentioned, sometimes those emails, what have you, the people that are working in that office, sometimes, unless it's some kind of a dire emergency, they may never see the email.
Yeah.
I know a couple of times when I've sent emails, I get this kind of canned response,
Right.
So I think people are onto it. The handwritten letter is a very recognizable way to reach your legislator.
Yeah.
Your legislators. So that's an interesting question tonight for you. And the last one tonight, this one's, I don't know. This one, I had to use it. Based on where we're at. But what do you feel is the reason behind documents stored in a garage behind a classic car? Is it absent-mindedness? Is it carelessness? Or were they planted there? Could it be a setup? Or maybe it's perfectly legal. I don't know. So we'll have to see what the people think on this one. But carelessness jumps right out there right now. But okay, 50-50. They were planted there. And these wascally wabbits that we have that are running our government, it could be anything. Obviously, nobody thinks it's at this point it's perfectly legal, but carelessness seems to be the one that's leading the group there, Dale. So
yeah,
interesting. Yeah. So
I think that's probably what I would have chosen, but
just carelessness, huh?
Yeah. Kind of naive about this. Was it planted? I don't know.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things that enter the realms, but I mean, at this point, just the fact that the claim is, hey, it was a locked garage. I mean, I think we all know that that's definitely not the most secure atmosphere in the world.
Right. My phone's ringing in the background. I don't know if you can hear it. Can you hear that?
I can hear that. Yeah. Hey, I'm going to put up a couple of comments that last question got, just so we did have some other things. I'll go ahead and throw them up real quick here. Susan says they were hidden there, and Jerry Rose says it was planted and the Dems did it. And Rick Lyon says, I would select corruption. So that's kind of an interesting take too. So that's just a
All
couple of
right.
people that were responding to that last question, but there you go.
Okay. Well, folks, if after the broadcast is over tonight, if anyone has a comment an afterthought that you want to make, comment or a question, feel free to reach out to us at our email account, raiseyourvoicecos@gmail.com. That's raiseyourvoicecos@gmail.com. And Ken and I look at those emails every day. So we will, one of us will definitely respond to you if you want to communicate with us. So, okay. Well, just bring this up again here. Now, our next broadcast will be next Monday evening, and being the fourth Monday of the month, that's going to be our roundtable. And the topic of our discussion on the roundtable is the jab, fact or fiction. So
Interesting.
It's
very interesting. The jab.
It is.
It
should be. We're formulating the content of this broadcast, and I know we've talked about this before. And we have a resident expert in the form of Dr. Dan Stock on this, but we're going to try and tackle this without Dr. Dan. We've got a region captain, Susan Gervais, that is very knowledgeable in the healthcare area. So we're going to rely on her knowledge a lot. But I think this is going to be a very, very interesting discussion. So
it's possible Dr. Dan might be in the viewership that night. Who knows?
I would hope he would be. I would hope he would be. That would be great. That would be great. Okay. Well, let's put one more plug out there for our podcast, Ken. Now, like I said, next Monday evening will be the roundtable broadcast, and the audio portion of that broadcast then we will offer up as a podcast for everyone shortly after the live stream takes place next Monday evening. But then also we are working on another episode of COS Indiana Live Voices, where we're going to be interviewing a dynamic volunteer here in the state of Indiana. So, those podcasts can be found on Spotify.com. So you'll want to be sure to check those out. And let me just give the email address one more time, raiseyourvoicecos@gmail.com. Raiseyourvoicecos@gmail.com. All right. Well, Ken, we always try to end up on our favorite acronym, GOTC, get off the couch.
Get off the couch.
And believe me, in 2023, we want people to get off the couch and join us here in Convention of States. We need people. We need volunteers. We need people interested in whatever your form of activism might be. We have a place for you, and we have many different avenues where one can express his or her activism. So I would encourage you, if you've been thinking about it, and if you've made a New Year's resolution that you want to do something about it, now's the time. Get off the couch and get involved. Any last words, any comments or questions, Ken, that we need to recognize that we haven't?
There was Robert Suarez did ask a question after watching the video. He said that the video showed 60K strong. He wanted to know what it is now. What do you know what that number was? Even though we've pondered a number of times what the ultimate number is.
Just short of 66,000.
66. So there
Just
you go,
short of
Robert.
66,000.
Want to get that in. And my only other comment is enjoy the rest of your birthday night. Go blow out some more candles. I know you probably only got half the first time around, right?
Yes. Yeah, you're right. There's so many of them. It takes me, I had to do it in part A and part B.
Well, you have to do what I do, Dale. When I have a birthday and I have all those candles, I invite the grandkids to help me blow.
Ah, okay.
That's the secret.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
yeah, they could certainly take care of it. No problem. No problem. Well, everyone, thank you. I'm just gonna kind of look at all the real quickly. We got we do have quite a few comments here this evening, don't we? That's good.
I got one more here, Dale. We're trying to squeak it in. I know we're getting up on time.
You're gonna slip something in here, aren't you?
No, this one I'll put this up on the screen so we can read it. Robin Patton, and I'm not familiar with the name, but so maybe she's a first-time viewer. I don't know, but during the House Speaker debates, one of the big items was term limits. My understanding was that could only be done by the Convention of States. Am I mistaken? So,
well, I'm not sure.
I mean, outside of Congress doing it, which I know it was brought up. It was part of that thing that Kevin McCarthy had to sign that he would bring it up in the House. But I think we all pretty much know the answer. That's probably not going to go anywhere,
right,
by the House itself. But
term limits is one of the pillars of our resolution calling for a convention of states.
So if Congress doesn't do it, the only avenue is through a convention of states,
through amending the Constitution.
Yeah.
Right.
So hopefully that answered Robin's questions. And here's Jerry's going to pipe in on that. I'll go ahead and put that up there too. Yep. So Congress can propose, but very unlikely to get 2/3 of the Congress, and that's we all kind of know where that's where that would probably end up. I mean, it would be a big surprise if they actually voted to introduce term limits themselves in the amendment. So, and
just to be clear, now we're talking about term limits on all federal officials. So that includes legislators, that includes federal judges, Supreme Court judges, and it also includes federal officials with the. I like the term deep state. The people that are buried in a lot of these agencies across our government that you never see. They're unelected, but they're lifetime bureaucrats. That's right.
Yeah. So, I think a lot of our problems can be traced back to that particular area itself. So yeah.
Right. So I think an amendment is what it's going to require to actually get. They're not going to do this themselves. They're not going to term limit themselves. Okay. Well, Ken, I think that's it for tonight, and enjoyed having our broadcast tonight. So, folks, stay tuned and be with us next Monday evening for our roundtable broadcast on January 23rd, and the topic being the jab, fact or fiction. So good night, everyone. Good night, Ken. See you later.
Good night, Dale. Yep. Good night.
Bye-bye.